Hey guys, my name is Koushik and welcome back to LetCode. So in this Playwright um, TypeScript Cucumber series, today we are going to learn about the page object model implementation, and it's going to be really simple, so I'll just keep it as simple as possible. I'm just going to write one feature file and one page object model example to show you the demo. Okay, so of course, we already have learned the page object model in detail in our Playwright TypeScript tutorial as well, for the Java, Selenium as well, and also the music and code playlist. There we have automated this book card pages, right? So for example, if I go to any of the test, this is just a simple Playwright test, not your Cucumber series. So here we can select, we have our test block register user, and within that we have our pages, and then we have like go to application, we are calling the function from a particular class, and then we have like register user, and then we have a utility called assert where we are asserting the confirmation basically, right? So if I go to the navigate to register page, here you can see like we have this particular function and the register user. So this is how typically we write our page object model, right? So that is what we have. So if you go to another pages, for example, if you can see like we have this login page where we have all our elements, and we have our constructor, we have our functions, and within that the actions, right? So we have like header page, we have this book page, and of course login and register. So we have like 4 pages. And if you see within the constructor, I'm using something called base functions. Base function is a bad name, I know. We can change that maybe later. And within that we have few functions like go to. So we are just going to a particular URL and we are waiting until the DOM is loaded fully. And then we have functions like wait and click, and also we have like navigate, and here you can select wait for navigation is deprecated. We'll fix that in later video. Now it's deprecated, we can use it but not recommended to use, so we'll change that maybe in some another video. Okay, and then also we have this assert utility where like we have this wrapper kind of thing. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So I hope you remember all this test, and if I have to show you some demo test, you can see like we have like invalid login scenario. We are creating the object for the login page, and within the steps we have like navigate to login page, get error message to be visible to have text. So we have some kind of like assertion and few other things, right? So that's it, very simple. We are going to make use of the same pages. So already I have copied those within my project, and I have done some few changes. So let me explain that as well. So if you go to the helper, so previously we don't have a folder called report. Now we have a folder called report, and within that we have both the same file. I mean like the same files are there. There is no additional, just from like within the helper folder we have this like report and init. So I just move those within the folder called report. Since I have moved, of course I have to change those in the all the necessary places. For example, if I go to my package.json file, so here you can see like it was src helper then init. Now it is like src helper report then followed by the file name. Similarly in the post test also I have included the file name. So this is my one changes. Why? Just to organize the things little bit, because within the helper function it was looking little different, so I just moved that within the report. And then I have a new folder called wrapper. Within the wrapper folder I have this playwright wrapper. So like the go to function, the wait and click function, the navigate to, all the functions are there, just like your reusable function. Okay, and then also I have this assert where I have like assert related things. For example, this one is very simple, of course just a line, but here you can select we do not have like page title contains directly from the playwright assert library, so you have to get the title and then we have to use like to contain, so that will make sense. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so those are the folder level structure. And one more change is this util. Within the util we have a test data folder, and within that I have a file which has like first name, last name, username, password, and confirm password. Okay, Now let me go and explain the application, of course. So if I go to the bookart, our test site, and if I go to this registration page, so here you can select we have first name, last name. This can be repeated. First name and last name can be repeated. That's not a matter, but the username should be always unique. I mean, like if I register with Autony Casey, and let's say that I'm just going to change my name, something like this, and then I have to give the confirm password. Let me select the gender as female, maybe. So here you can see like we are getting this error message like username is not available. So I have to, if I have to run the test multiple times, then of course I have to create multiple users with unique name. The first name, last name doesn't matter. I can have that as my duplicate, but the username should be always unique. So that's why we are like, for here we have like username equal to user, but of course we are not going to use that, or else we'll just append something to that. So I'll come to that in a moment. Okay, so this is the help for folder changes. I hope you are able to understood. Just a very simple thing. Okay, and then we have these pages. So whatever we saw in our previous project, the bookart application, the music and code playlist, from there I just bought all the files. Few changes I have done, I guess. Yeah, only this one. Like we have this import statement, Playwright wrapper. So there we have the name called base function. I just changed that to Playwright wrapper because I think this makes sense instead of just like base function. Okay, so here you can select just typical page object model. We have a constructor where we have this wrapper, and then we have this element, and then we have the navigate to register page, we have the registration thing, and then we have the center username, where we are using the center username in the sense like here, like this, we know that that username field should be always unique. So what I did is like I just use this response code to validate I'm not getting any error. If there is any error, it will be fail. Okay, so I have explained this already, so if you know, that's fine. If you don't know, just you can go to the code base and you can check. It is very simple, or else do let me know in the comments. Definitely I will help you to understand that as well. Okay, let me give a quick glimpse. Like whenever we enter the username, here the username is not available, so only this particular field will come, and this works based on a API. For example, let me inspect and show you. If I go to the network tab, and here let's say that I'm going to give it like Autony, and here you can see like we got this Autony, and it says like 200 okay, and the response is true. That means username is already present, that's why it's returning true. That means we cannot use it. For example, if I say like Autony 123 123 something like this, and if I click, yeah, I don't have to click anywhere. Actually within few seconds it will give us like false. So here previously true, it is false. That means of course I can create with this particular name now. Okay, so that is what I have handled here with the help of Playwright network call. Okay, so we are just waiting for the response, and this is the particular URL. How to find it is very simple. If you go and read the header, you will get that one. That's it, very simple thing. Okay, already I have a dedicated video for this. If you wish, you can go and check it out, that as well. I will leave that in card or maybe in the description. Okay, yeah, that's it. So we are ready with our page object model. Now what we are going to do is we are going to write our feature file. Of course I already have written, let me show you that. So here you can select, we have a feature called register user, and then we have a scenario like register new user. So we know that in Cucumber we can write the feature files in two ways. One is like from the third person perspective, and another way is like first person perspective. Okay, so for example, here you can see like user enter the username, that is like third person. User enter the password, user clicks on, and then login should be success. So this is basically your first third person view. When I have to use like first person, so here you can select I, considering myself, I navigate to the register page. That is precondition, so of course it's a given. And then I have like when I created a user and I'm expecting a positive outcome, so I will say like then I confirm user registration as success. Okay, so that's it, very simple. And because of dark theme, we are not able to see any of the keyword highlights. So if you go and change this to like any of the default Visual Studio, Visual Code, yeah, Visual Studio Code, VS Code, then you can see like the highlights. Okay, but of course I'm not a great fan of light, so let me go and have my theme. Which one I had, I forgot. It's the one I always use, I guess. Okay, we'll just use that, right, and that will probably make sense, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to give a tag here like @test, and I'm going to use the tag within my JSON file. Yeah, it's already there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this as true. Okay, so let's go to our runner file, and here I'm going to say npm test. So this will basically generate the snippets with async and await. So here you can see snippet interface, async and awaits. Of course we will get that, we can copy that, we can have it in a step definition file, and then we can use the page object model. Yeah, so here you can see I can just copy everything from here to here, and then I can go back to my step definition file. I can do this, and of course I can clear all this thing, and then of course I have to delete this, so Control D to delete all those, and you can give control dot import all missings, so that will do the import thing as well. Okay, so that's it, very simple. So whatever we have in our feature file, so we got everything. So if I give like control click, I can see that I'm able to go to that particular place. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to make dry run as false so that I can execute, and of course I have the tag called test, so only this particular guy is going to run. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to of course make use of the page object model, right? So in page object model, of course we know that we have the constructor, so within the constructor we have to pass our page instance. Okay, so for example here I can say like const one is going to be my register page equal to new register page, and here I have to give my page. So if I go to the constructor, here you can see like we are expecting a page. Based on this page object, we are using like this dot page, this dot page dot type, this dot page dot click, all the stuff, right? So I think this dark theme looks a little weird today. I'll just change this to white for now. Yeah, I think this is looking good now. Okay, so here within the register page, of course we know that we already have the fixture for the page, so you can use like fixture dot page. That's it, we are pretty much simple. Similarly, I'm going to also make use of my assert thing, so here I'm going to say like assert, and that's it. Okay, but this thing will not work, I will explain why. So before that, let me complete this. So here I'm going to say like await, then followed by register page dot navigate to the user page. So within the navigate to user page, we have like base dot go to and followed by the user thing. Okay, and I have to create a user, so await register page dot register user, and here you can see like within the register user we have like 6 arguments. So generally in Cucumber we get the arguments from the feature file itself. So for example here like I created a new user with first name, last name, like that we have to use. That is one way. Or else if we already have the data from JSON, or let's say that we have to generate a dynamic data, then don't do that within your feature file. Rather just create a function like this, and you can use your test data from any external source. Even though it is not recommended to use external source, but if you are going to create like dynamic data, in this scenario the register the username is going to be dynamic always, we can use it as well. Okay, so here I'm just going to import my this thing, what we call that, So if I go to helper, if I go to utils, if I go to test data, here I have register.user. So whenever we use the JSON file in our TypeScript project, go to your TS config and make sure you are going to add this as well, or else you will end up with some kind of exception. Even you will get the compile time exception as well. So always remember to add this one. Okay. And here I'm going to say like data, and of course I have to import the data. So here I'll say like import star as data. So that means I'm going to import everything from that particular file, and I'm going to give a alias name as data. And then I have to specify the path, which is going to be dot dot slash helper slash util slash test data slash the file JSON file name. Okay. And then I can select data dot first name, and then followed by data dot last name, I guess. And then what we have, yeah, first name, last name, username. So username, we will just create a username. We'll let it be like this, and then followed by data dot password, I guess. Yeah, password, confirm password, and then followed by the gender. Okay. So here I'm going to say like data dot confirm password, then data dot gender. Not this one. Okay, for gender I don't think we have, so let it make it like m. What is m in the sense like if I go within the function, here you can select if gender equal to male, then we'll click the male input field, or else of course we'll click on the female input field. Okay, so based on m or f you can just change this one. Okay, that's it. Now we know that username is going to be always unique, so how we can do this, do that is very simple. Like we can get the data dot username. So if I go and check, this is like basically my user, just a user, but I have to make it dynamic. So what can I do is I can simply make it like date dot now dot to string. So like we'll get a date format, and that will become like your username. Okay, so that's the simplest way. Or else, yeah, of course you can use other packages like faker, that is also good. Okay, so last step we are going to confirm. So to confirm, I guess we already have the step await assert url, I guess. Let me check that very quickly what I have returned. So here you can select confirm. For this we are using this one, assert url. So yeah, so once we are done with the registration, it will just move to the login page directly. So we are just going to confirm in that way. Okay, because we don't have any other response in the UI level. So yeah, that will make sense, I guess. Okay, so that's it, we are pretty much done. But if I go and run this, let me go and run this, let me show you the error message. So npm test. So what will happen here in the sense like we are trying to create the objects outside of the function. So these are actually like your constructor actually. So if we create the object here, it will not persist. We cannot use that like here and here. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to create the object once, and we can reuse the object. So either we can go with the fixture. So if you go here, you can see like I navigate to the register page, cannot read property of undefined. So this thing, right? So within this we are using like the base.goto. So what is base? Base is basically my Playwright wrapper, where I need to pass the page constructor, I mean the value object of the page, so that the constructor will take it and it will work internally, right? But if I do like this, it will not work. So what we can do is we can simply like create in the first function where I am calling this one. Then do not forget to remove this, guys. And of course I cannot const, I mean I cannot use the const because const is like only one time. Okay, so here we'll just declare the register page the assert, which is going to be of type assert register page and the asset, and then we can just create the object, and I can reuse the same object across all the other functions within the same file. Okay, so please remember, within the same file I can reuse this. Okay, that means like let's say this is going to be my first step. Then within the first step I will create the object, and I can reuse the objects within other steps. So if you are going to have like one more scenario, then within the scenario also the first step should create all the objects, or else like you can have your background here. Within the background you can just write something like to create a object, and you can reuse the object. Okay, so that is the one way to handle. Another way will be probably like using the fixture concept. So far we have like page fixture, we have the logger fixture. Similarly, you can add like the register page, the asset. But the problem is like if we have like 100 screens in our test application, that means of course we have to write 100 page classes. Then of course I have to have like 100 objects within the same fixture, which will be very tedious to maintain. So better way, just create the object within the step definitions and reuse it. That's it. Okay, so now if I go and run this, you can see it's going to pass for sure. I know that. So here you can select 3 of 3 step executed. Of course you didn't see the browser because it's running in the headless, but of course we can see the screenshots and attachment. So based on that we can confirm. So I'm going to open this in my Explorer, and if I go to my test result, if I go to my reports, and then if I go to my index.html file, so here of course 1 of 1 pass, register user, and we have this guy, and yeah, it's got passed actually. We don't have the video and the screenshot because everything got passed. So let's see with the headless mode head mode one more time, just to confirm, and also like just to confirm like our registration is doing good because we are using dynamic data. So I'm just going to my hooks invoke browser, and I'm going to make it false here. Okay, so let me go and run this one more time just for confirmation. Yeah, it's very simple test, so it passed obviously, and you can see the reports, everything. If you want to have the screenshot for your pass scenario as well, just simple, you know how to do it. So you have to just make it outside of the condition, and that's it. Pretty simple. Okay, so that's it for this. I think this is the last video of our Playwright TypeScript Cucumber series. I don't think I have any other content to post. So we have covered the page object model, the reporting with screenshot and video on failure, and also I have explained how to run this in your Cycle CI environment, and also like how to have multiple configuration file with the help of cucumber.json file. We have the loggers, we have the page object model, hooks, helper, proper project structure, everything is there. I don't know what else I have to cover. If you have something on your mind, do let me know in the comments. I will try to make a video, but mostly I think this is the last video for this Playwright tutorial TypeScript scenarios, series. Maybe in future we can come up with something good idea. Okay, so all the code will be there in my Playwright in my GitHub account. So this is the Playwright book cart application where we have all our page object model scenarios. And then if I go and open this repository, if I go back to my, if you go to this Playwright Cucumber TS, here we'll have all the codes and all the proper documentation as well. Okay, so that's it from my side. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. Bye bye. Take care.